World War II. It was a conflict of unprecedented scale and devastation, resulted in over 80 million casualties, gave rise to unthinkable crimes against humanity, and would profoundly reshape the landscape of the 20th century. The seeds of this war were sown in the aftermath of World War I with the signing of the Treaty of Versailles. This treaty, which ended World War I, aimed to secure lasting peace, but instead set the stage for further conflict. The treaty imposed severe terms on Germany and made them pay a significant amount of money as reparations, give up large areas of land, and put limits on the size of their army. These factors led to economic ruin, political instability, and anger in Germany, which was only worsened by a global economic depression. This environment of despair and humiliation fueled the rise of an extremist ideology in Germany, the Nazi Party, led by Adolf Hitler. The party exploited this situation. In doing so, Hitler gained widespread support by promising to reverse the treaty's effect in restoring Germany's military power. About at the same time, those similar circumstances that occurred in Germany, the growth of nationalism, economic desperation, militarism, and the desire for territorial expansion and global power occurred in Italy. These factors would lead to the rise to a fascist dictator as well as foster World War II. This fascist dictator was Benito Mussolini, and he rose to power in 1922. He promised the Italian people he would revive the glory of the ancient Roman Empire. He saw territorial expansion as a way to enhance Italy's power and prestige on the world stage. On the other side of the world, fueled by nationalism, militarism, and economic needs, Japan thought to aggressively expand its territory. In the 1930s, though Japan had an emperor named Hirohito, Japanese military leaders took control of the nation in its government. In Asia, these military leaders pursued aggressive expansionism in an effort to secure vital resources and to establish regional dominance. All three of these nations, Germany, Italy, and Japan, had several common interests. They all desired to expand, create large empires, and become global powers. Hence, on September 27, 1940, they formed an alliance called the Axis Powers. When and why did World War II start? The war officially began on September 1, 1939, with Germany's invasion of Poland. This act of aggression prompted Britain and France to finally declare war on Germany. Prior to this, France and Britain had adopted a policy of appeasement towards Germany, largely because they wanted to avoid another conflict. Throughout the 1930s, Germany expanded its territory, violated treaties, and illegally bolstered its military. But France and Britain were reluctant to intervene. This policy of appeasement was a crucial factor that contributed to the outbreak of World War II. It allowed Germany to grow extremely powerful, perceive its enemies as weak, and embolden its ambitions to build an empire. Who was involved in World War II? This conflict eventually divided into two main sides, the Allied powers versus the Axis powers. The United Kingdom, France, and Poland in the late 1930s created the Allied powers in an effort to counter Germany's aggression. As the war progressed, other nations joined this alliance. Eventually, the Allied powers would include over 50 countries. Besides the US, one of the more significant members was the Soviet Union. They joined after Germany's full-scale invasion of Russia on June 22, 1941, known as Operation Barbarossa. At first, the U.S. chose to stay out of this war and did not join an alliance but stayed neutral. This decision to stay out by the U.S. was largely due to the belief of isolationism, as well as the need to deal with the economic problems of the Great Depression. However, everything changed when Japan chose to attack Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. This surprise attack drastically changed American public opinion and the government's stance on isolationism. It led to the U.S. entering the war. In the first 2 years of World War II, the Axis powers experienced major successes. They appeared unstoppable and unbeatable. 8 months after conquering Poland, the world witnessed how quickly the Nazis, using blitzkrieg, conquered Belgium, Netherlands, and Norway. But the big shock? Just within 6 weeks of fighting, France surrendered to Germany. France's blunder? It believed its Maginot Line was impenetrable. This line was a vast network of fortifications along the French-German border, built in the 1930s to prevent a German invasion. It consisted of a series of bunkers, gun emplacements, barriers, traps, and underground tunnels. How was Germany able to defeat the Maginot Line? The German forces bypassed it. They drove around it. They invaded France by going through Belgium, making the Maginot Line worthless. Though the Axis powers would initially have many victories, as the war raged on, the Allied powers would begin to get the upper hand and push their enemy back. Nonetheless, the road to victory for the Allies would be a long and bloody road.